Race 2 is about to get underway here at Rockingham for the Super Series, and we have Jake Bailey in P1, Josh Jackson P2 and Richard Breland P3 after yesterday's event. Now, the light showers this morning has left the track a little bit greasy in certain areas, so it's going to be a very interesting one to watch. So Andy, we're going to hand it straight over to you to run us through the grid.
Yeah, thanks Lyndsay. We've got a resumption, hopefully, of the battle we saw yesterday between Jake Bailey and Josh Jackson on row 1. Richard Breland and James Kell make up the second row, ahead of Sam Bailey and Jeremy Crook, then Alec Lyndsay and Simon Fleet on row 4. Patrick Collins is next, ahead of Xavier Brook, Pickford, Simon Woods, Richard Norris, Liz Walton and Ronnie Garrick with his first race under his belt, now looking towards the front if possible, or at least try and work his way a bit closer to the top 10. On board with Patrick Collins there, Matt Pickford we've got an on-board camera with as well. As the lights go out, away we go for the second time this weekend. Richard Breland makes a good start from row number 2. He goes down to the inside immediately. Bailey has his nose in front for the race lead, but Richard Breland is trying to dive through on the inside of Josh Jackson for second position as well. Jackson risks finding himself hung out to dry here down at the hairpin because everybody else seems to be aiming for that inside line. How's it all going to pan out though? Bailey has the lead, there's no doubt about that. What's going to happen for second? Breland on the inside with 2 wheels over the curb. Jackson round the outside, there goes Alec Lyndsay right round the outside of everybody and out onto the grass as a result. We're on board with Patrick Collins, who's going to suddenly get a big run on the number 15 car as it's delayed off the corner. All contact there as well. Simon Fleet goes halfway around at least. I think that was Xavier Brook got into the back of him. Patrick Collins very nonchalantly, one-handedly makes his way through Yentwood and into Chapman Curve. A very, very lively first part, or first half a lap of the race. It looked as though it was situation normal at the front of the field, though Bailey from Jackson at the head of the order. You can see that after the overnight rain that Lyndsay mentioned, it is now quite bright. The track's actually dried out quite a bit in the last 20 minutes or so. So pretty much bone dry circuit now for the drivers to contend with. Jake Bailey, there he is, leading the way out of Gracelands down towards Tarzan after that sensational duel that he had with Josh Jackson yesterday. James Kell is once again third, with Sam Bailey fourth now, and Richard Breland down to fifth. So Breland, having briefly challenged for second at the start of the race, is now slipped down the order slightly, whilst James Kell is still looking for this first podium of the year, and he's back in third place for the time being. Patrick Collins had a good start. He's now become a part of the Jeremy Crook, Alec Lyndsay and Simon Fleet battle that was raging on yesterday. And there's Xavier Brook, with whom we saw Patrick Collins battling in yesterday's race. He's a few places further back now. Out onto the pit straight they go again, and there's Sam Bailey attacking for fourth position, taking some of the pressure away here from James Kell. Richard Breland, rather than, in fact, Richard Breland making one come through, hasn't he? So Breland's gone fourth. Now sets his sights on James Kell, but whilst these two are scrapping, it does take some of the pressure away from Kell. But James is very early on the brakes into the Dean hairpin, or maybe Sam Bailey was just very late on the brakes. Either way, Bailey goes from 5th to 3rd in one round the outside manoeuvre. That was very brave stuff indeed. But Sam Bailey now gets himself onto the podium. James Kell comes back at him up the inside line though. Can he get the car stopped? Looks like he will. Already a much more lively start to race number 2 than we had at any point really yesterday. It may have been a great battle for the race lead, but everyone I think was minding their P's and Q's a little bit yesterday. Now they were into the middle part of the weekend, and the action is starting to really heat up out on track. So James Kell third, Breland's now fourth again. So Bailey was third, well he was fourth, then he was fifth, then he was third, now he's fifth again, and all of that in the space of about half a lap. This has really allowed the top two to open up the advantage, although they were likely to be able to do that anyway given their pace earlier on in the weekend. Kell back into third, Richard Breland looking to try and replicate his podium finish from yesterday if he can. There's Patrick Collins working his way out of Gracelands down towards Tarzan Corner. This one of the better overtaking opportunities on the circuit. Right-hander back up along the school straight. Not able to gain ground just yet, but they're all stacking up here slightly behind this third place battle, which fans out in 3 different lines into the corner, none of them quite overlapping each other. It's all about the exit speed here. Richard Breland setting himself up with a nice wide line through the chicane to try to get the exit onto the banking, which he's done. Can he get up the inside here to try and move himself ahead of James Kell? Well, James is certainly going to have to get his elbows out because they could be coming at him from both directions here. Breland is in the tow before Sam Bailey is getting a double slipstream from the pair of them. Could be able to challenge himself down towards the Dean hairpin. Kell moves over to defend. Breeden goes to the outside. Bailey looks to the middle, then drops down low as they hit the brakes. And again, James Kell's quite early on the brakes. Breeden, where's he going? He's very wide on the circuit indeed. I don't think that was intentional because it leaves the door wide open for Sam Bailey to come through on the inside line. Breland tries to fight back on the exit of the corner, but he's only showing the outside into Yentwood, and so Bailey goes back through. So great racing between those three, all over the bottom step of the podium. On board with Matt Pickford, who had a half spin yesterday, and a not great start today, it would seem. He's just slowly trying to make his way a bit further up the order. It's down towards Corby come Kell, Bailey and Breland. Third, fourth and fifth. Through the left-hander, and James Kell's out wide on the grass, and that's definitely the chance that Sam Bailey was looking for. At the front of the field, his son Jake is once again leading. We saw this yesterday, though, didn't we, where Jake got a bit of a gap early on, and then Jackson just sort of closed him down. Once he'd fended off everybody else for second, he then set his sights on Jake Bailey for the race lead. The third, well, James Kell has survived that little grassy moment. He's still in third, but he's under a lot of pressure here. Bailey going to the outside into the Tarzan hairpin, cuts back to the switchback manoeuvre on the exit, draws himself alongside, but it will not necessarily be the preferred line into the chicane. At the chicane already are the leading two. Josh Jackson looking like he's going to put in a good lap here. He set the fastest lap in his pursuit of Jake Bailey in yesterday's race. So far in this one, Bailey has set the fastest of the 2 laps, but how far ahead they are of everybody else in their scrap that's going on for third place on back. Just behind that third place battle there was Patrick Collins, James Kelly still third, Sam Bailey fourth, Richard Breeden fifth, and Jeremy Crook sixth, Alan Lyndsay seventh. That's the battle we're watching here. Patrick Collins and Simon Fleet just behind them. Down towards the hairpin they go, on board with Collins in front of us. We can see that they're starting to run side by side, and Lyndsay's got it on the inside. He's going through. Takes through his stick, nicely done. It's a bit wide on the exit, but you can sort of afford to do that because the next 2 corners are right-handers, so you will have the inside line. Back with Collins, Crook there just diving from the outside to the inside. Collins didn't really know where to go, I don't think, in that instance, so just sort of follows them through the corner. Fascinating racing right throughout the field, and I often get asked why drivers keep coming back to race when they're sort of perennial midfield finishes. Well, apart from the fact that they all hope to continue to improve, which many of these drivers have been throughout the season. Look at the likes of Richard Breeden and James Kell as perfect examples of that. Drivers who, particularly in James Kell's case at the start of the season, they were definitely midfield runners, but now he's up there fighting for a podium finish. That's one of the reasons why these drivers keep coming back. The other reason is that whether you're fighting for first or whether you're fighting for 10th, it doesn't really matter. When you're out there in the heat of the moment on the track, you're enjoying the battle just the same. You're just trying to get one over on the drivers you're battling with, and you don't really care too much about what position it's for, especially because this is not a championship, so points don't matter. It's all just about finishing the race as high up as you can, really, and you'll get great enjoyment from finishing 8th instead of 9th. You'll get just the same amount of enjoyment for getting past that person as you would do if you were fighting for a podium place. So that's why motorsport is addictive. Many people who don't necessarily understand the ins and outs of the sport sometimes question why, but that's why, because you'll see how entertaining these middle of the order battles are. And, the drivers really having the time of their life. Simon Fleet to the inside Patrick Collins, which is a break, and a little bit wide, but Fleet just can't quite do it. On the way into the corner at least, almost drew alongside on the outside, on the exit of the corner. But you can see how this pack of cars, the Lyndsay, Crook, Collins and Fleet battle, are slowly starting to reel in the Kell, Breland and Bailey third place squabble, because they're holding each other up so much. They're not going as quickly as the cars immediately behind them, so this could become an even longer train before too much longer. Towards the left-handers at Corby. Simon Fleet damaged into the back of his car at some point, whether that was at the start of this race or yesterday, I'm not too sure. Lyndsay and Bailey, yeah, that's Sam Bailey, isn't it? So Sam Bailey must have had a moment somewhere, because he was running well in that third place battle, but now Alex Lyndsay's gone past him. See James Kell and Richard Breland still there third and fourth, but Sam Bailey has now lost a position. He could lose another one here as well, because as they drop down into the braking zone, Jeremy Crook is now trying to find a way past him. So not quite sure what happened to Sam Bailey there, but he's now got to try and regroup, try and pick his way first of all back ahead of Alex Lyndsay, and then try and catch the 2 cars in front. chicane. Over the curbs there for Bailey, trying to tee up Lyndsay on the run across the start-finish line. He'll be in the toe, but didn't get a great exit from the corner there, just slid a bit wide, too high up the banking. There's James Kell, still third. Richard Breland right in his wheel tracks as they cross across the start-finish line in now increasingly mild and bright conditions at Rockingham. Temperature starting to go up, that's good news. Towards the Dean hairpin they will go. Breaking more or less the same points it seems. James Kell and Richard Breland side by side in front of them, because neither of them were on the traditional racing line. They're side by side again on the exit of the turn. James Kell defends the inside line, Breland to the outside. Nope, can't do it on the way into the corner. Lyndsay is still fifth. We're on board with Patrick Collins again here. So he works his way down towards, towards Chapman Curve. In the 999 car. He is just becoming a bit detached actually from that group of cars in front, isn't he? Kirby come Lyndsay and Bailey. Now, Lyndsay looks like he's got really good pace in this race, because he's not only got past Sam Bailey, he's now starting to catch Richard Breland. So Alec Lyndsay, who finished 7th in the first race, is now running inside the top 5 in this one, and closing in potentially on a podium place here, or the podium battle at least. Tarzan, Kell, Breland, Lyndsay, Smith, Crook, 5 cars pretty much together, but Alec Lyndsay, if he wants a podium, first of all has to make sure he doesn't let Sam Bailey come through. Sam is right back on his rear bumper now as they head into the Brook chicane once again. Left, right, and then the most important part of that sequence is this final left out onto the banking, and this time around Sam Bailey takes a slightly tighter line. There's a bit of a wiggle there from Lyndsay as he got on the power, so might be enough maybe for Bailey to challenge down towards turn 1, not turn 1, towards the Dean hairpin. They're going easy flat out through there in these cars. Bailey, where's Lyndsay going? He takes a very wide line there. I don't think Bailey was expecting that. So Sam Bailey won't be able to get up the inside just yet. Meanwhile, Breland goes to the outside of Kell. He's been trying this for a few laps, and whilst it does tend to mean that he gets a better exit from the corner, there's really so much to do with that. Oh, and Richard Breland immediately slows, so something happened there to Richard Breland as they came through the corner, and unfortunately, just as it looked like he was starting to build another challenge at third, the number 81 car starts to grind to a halt. So what that issue is, I don't know. Possibly gearbox, possibly drive shaft related. It came out of nowhere there. There was no smoke, there was nothing hanging off the car. He didn't have any contact. It was just all of a sudden when he put his foot down out of Dean, the car didn't go anywhere. So out of the race, unfortunately, goes Richard Breland. He will become our first non-finisher of the weekend, in fact, because we've got all 15 starters to the end of race 1. Lyndsay and Sam Bailey here battling away now, and Sam Bailey trying to find a way back through. He's for 4th position, of course, now, but with the demise of Richard Breland, they're both one step closer to the podium. Lyndsay a bit sideways, runs a bit wide. Sam Bailey tries to get the switchback manoeuvre made, can't get alongside down the school straight though. These two both, I think, have the pace to challenge James Kell. Oh, block up there for Lyndsay. He's still a little bit ragged, isn't he? Maybe sensing that this could be a chance for his first ever podium, and just the odd mistake starting to creep in now. Up the hill, back onto the pit straight they go again. This all still going on quite some way behind, some 12 seconds or so at the moment behind the leading two. Speaking of them, here they are. They're still as close together as ever they have been. Mainly ahead of Josh Jackson, but by less than an MX-5 length as they head down in towards Yenwood. Right-hander up towards the next right-hander at Chapman Curve, and Josh Jackson, we thought that he found a way past Bailey in race 1, only to then lose the position again half a lap later. So he's really got to think about this. Where does he make his move? And if he makes it, can he hang on? We saw also that Jake Bailey's car looked a little bit ragged at times. Looked like the rear of the car wasn't gripping quite as well as he might have liked it. Could just be that that was driver preference, but it certainly seemed that through some of the high-speed corners he was struggling. Whether or not that's the same case today, we're not able to see, but as he comes through Grayson's, the car did seem to be twitching slightly there. Drops down towards Tarzan. So Josh Jackson just not quite close enough at the moment to really build a challenge again. Back along the school straight, up the hill they go. You can see in the background, well, absolutely no one. That's the point. They're a mile ahead of everybody else. such as their pace and such as the ferocity of the battling going on behind, these two should be able to check out, really. Out onto the banking they go again, and Jake Bailey a bit wide, gets through with a cement dust that's been laid down after a previous race, and that might just give Jackson some hope that he can challenge down towards turn number 1. Through the right-hander they go, and Jackson, yeah, he's in the wheel tracks now. Bailey, Jake Bailey's going to have to defend, and Jackson goes to the outside, thinks about the inside. This, of course, is where Bailey got past him again, repassed him towards the end of the last lap of race number 1. Going down below the white line. Josh Jackson in similar fashion this time through. Turn 1, sorry, excuse me, turn 3 on the circuit, and then turn 4 at Chapman Curve. It's a very technically demanding circuit, and drivers do enjoy. I don't think anyone's ever really had anything against the layout here at Rockingham, and this longer International Super Sports Car long version of the circuit, which has this extra loop down at Piff Paff and Kirby, to add an extra element to the circuit, one that most of the drivers really enjoy. Maybe lacks a bit of atmosphere at times, but the quality of racing has never been in doubt. It always produces some really good side-by-side combat, and we've seen that already in the first race between these two. Are we about to see the same as we get into the closing stages now of race number 2? We are into the final 5 minutes, so only a couple of laps to go. Tight right-hander back up the hill. Blue flag's being waved. That will be Ronnie Garrick even, just getting out of the way, getting a lap down in his second ever race in Mazda MX-5 Super Series. But he does not impede the race leaders. Oh dear, that's Sam Bailey. Sam Bailey's in the gravel trap down at Tarzan, that looks like. So Sam Bailey, I really don't know what happened there, but he is off the road. Now that could require a safety car. It's a real shame for Sam Bailey, who was in that podium fight. He's not going anywhere though, unfortunately. The car is well and truly buried in the gravel trap. The gravel doing its job, therefore. His race is done, so Sam Bailey out of it. That means that maybe there's a bit more pressure off James Kell for third, unless, of course, James was involved in that. We don't know what happened. So, Jake Bailey and Josh Jackson continue serenely on their way at the front of the field. They don't know yet what's happened down at the Tarzan Head. That could potentially require a safety car. And the flags you can see are waving at that part of the circuit. They're not quite there yet, but they will eventually. Negotiated this part of the circuit, they make their way back towards the middle of the track, and the Tarzan hairpin does form the central point of the infield layout. It doesn't look as though Josh Jackson's quite got the pace to challenge Jake Bailey in the same sort of way he did in race 1. He's been close on a couple of occasions, but never really looked as likely to go through. Bailey's car still seems like it's very loose, but it actually seems quick, doesn't it, this time? So it's not really holding him up all that much. Down towards the yellow flag zone they go, at the Tarzan hairpin, where the stricken car of Sam Bailey sits. Back up towards the chicane. You can see there is a live snatch vehicle in the background, so hopefully they'll be able to deal with that using that, rather than requiring a full course caution, because that would pretty much be the end of the race, you would have to assume. Back through the final turn, up onto the pit straight. Jake Bailey looking a little bit more comfortable here, but not comfortable enough that he can relax just yet. One mistake and Josh Jackson will be straight back through. Round turn 1, and Jake Bailey, bigger gap now than he's had arguably all weekend long so far over Josh Jackson. A pair of good starts for Bailey, that certainly helped. Jackson maybe just got delayed slightly in other people's back in the first half or so, giving him a bit of a break. But in both races, Jackson's been able to catch him again. Just hasn't really been able to do anything with him. So Bailey getting towards the closing stages of the race now. Just needs to keep on the island, not make any mistakes. The yellow flags are still out at Tarzan, so that's one potential overtaking opportunity that's not available to Jackson right now. Jake does like that wide line, doesn't he, into Kirby as well. That's oh so inviting to Josh Jackson behind. If Josh could get a bit closer, we saw him trying in race 1 to just dive to the apex first and make him with a block pass, but it is fraught with risk, that. Jackson does seem to be closing on this lap though, so I don't think that Bailey's got this one sewn up just yet. And back out of the cockpit of Bailey just to remind Josh Jackson that there's a yellow flag here and that both ought to slow down slightly, but Jackson seems to slow down a little bit less than Bailey, and so Bailey starting to come under pressure again now, just as I thought that he was looking fairly secure in the lead. So back down towards the chicane. I think we're going to have one more lap after this one, probably. We're lapping in the 1 minute 43s and 44s, so I think we've got time for one more lap here. Out onto the banking again, and Jake Bailey, well, as we saw yesterday, it's in the latter stages of the race that Jackson seems to have an edge. Across the start-finish line again, onto the final lap of the race we go. And Josh Jackson's just set a new fastest lap as well, a 1:44.1, which is about 6/10 slower than he went yesterday. So the pace isn't quite as quick in the warmer conditions, but it's quick enough to draw him alongside now, down towards the Dean hairpin. So yet again, we're in for a real grandstand finish with these two. Bailey holds the inside line. Jackson a bit too late on the brakes there. He was trying to carry the wider line in to get good momentum out of the turn. Just got a bit sideways there, oversteered through the corner. Hasn't really cost him that much time though. He's still only a car length or so behind the leader, and with still over half a lap to go, but only realistically one more genuine overtaking opportunity to come. You'd have to sense that that's the Tarzan hairpin where the yellow flags are still out. So if Jackson's going to do this, he may have had his last chance. Down towards Corby. Again, they both take a wide line in, ignoring the first apex completely, and just picking up the second curb, carrying the speed nicely up the hill. It's Graceland, and then it's a yellow flag zone, so where does the move come for Josh Jackson, or is he going to have to settle for another second place finish? Jake Bailey starting to rack up the victories now in the second half of the season. This would be his 6th if he could hang on to the 9 wins for Josh Jackson, so if he keeps going this way, he could. He's winning for the remaining races this season. Jake Bailey could actually top Josh Jackson's number of race victories. There are 3 races to go after this weekend at Donington Park, so 4 more races in total, and there will be just 3 wins between them now by the looks of it, because out of the final corner they're about to come, and for the second time this weekend, Jake Bailey is going to see the checkered flag and take win number 6 of the season. Great race between the two of them, as it was yesterday, and Jake Bailey takes the checkered flag. Josh Jackson in 2nd position. Really, really great tussle. 3rd place for Jeremy Crook, 4th Alec Livesley, and 5th for Patrick Collins. Really improved in that one. Simon Fleet was 6th, Xavier Brook was 7th, then Matt Pickford, Simon Woods and Richard Norris round out the top 10. Liz Walton and Ronnie Garrick were the last finishers, whilst James Kell, who was involved in that incident with Sam Bailey, he was a non-finisher, so was Sam, and Richard Breland pulling off with mechanical dramas.
This is the 2nd win in a row now.
Yeah, it's like deja vu from the race before, but yeah, good race, another long race. Josh kept me in check the whole way around. Didn't make it easy for me, but no, good race on that.
Josh, that seems like another long race.
Yeah, they're pretty long. Yeah, no, it was a good race. We've got a bit of a bad start. I think Richard come alongside me and a couple of others. So, yeah, we got in behind Jake eventually, and then, yeah, it just wasn't quite enough time to get past him.
So have you got any thoughts going into the final race of today?
Yeah, do better.
So Jeremy, your 3rd podium in the year. This is becoming quite a good year for you.
I know, it's probably the best year ever actually. It's been the most enjoyable. This series has been really good for me. Great people, good standards of driving, great fun. And it's such a pity that this is our last race at Rockingham, because it's our local circuit. We're only 20 minutes down the road. So, but there you go, we finished that one with a big bang. It's good.